This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
The award-winning Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University. Build the future you at Hodges University.
Southwest Florida, welcome to another edition of Lee Pitts Live. Where are we in Southwest Florida? We're at the Lee County School District here in Lee County, and it has been a fabulous stay here. We'll be here again next week, and I want to give a shout out to all the people at the Lee County School District, especially the superintendent, Dr. Gregory Atkins, that has made this possible for the Lee Pitts Live Southwest Florida tour to stop right here. Next month, we will be at the Dunbar Community School on High Street. But right now we're at the district, and we have a fabulous show in store for you. We're going to be talking politics today. We have a candidate here who's running for the Lee County Sheriff District. James Didio will be here later in the show. I also get to talk to Ron Jenkins. He's the host of CTV Political, and we'll talk about what's going on with the various Democratic parties and the process there too when we get a chance to talk to Gerri Ware. She's the president of the Lee County Democratic Black Caucus Club, and Yoseph, who's the president of the Democratic Club of Lee County. I hope I get his last name right. Tedros. We'll straighten that out later on if I got it wrong. We'll be right back on Lee Pitts Live. Southwest Florida, politics is in the air. Politics is everywhere. We're coming down the stretch now. Early voting, all of that thing, all those things that happen here in Southwest Florida. But in Lee County is very unique as well. I've been covering Lee County politics for the past 25 years. And this year it seems like we had more minorities running for at-large offices, whether they were Democrats or Republicans. They were running for office here, and still didn't get any elected. So we got to continue to talk politics. Without further ado, I'm going to have Gerri Ware here. She's the president of the Lee County Democratic Black Caucus Club. And we got Yoseph Tedros, the president of the Democratic Club of Lee County. Let's bump you in. You guys got these long titles. I hope a lot of money comes with that. Actually, both of you are with like nonprofit organizations, right?
Yes.
Okay. Nobody gets paid?
No.
No.
Okay. I want to congratulate both of you for volunteering, putting in your hard work that people probably don't realize to try to move the political process along the way and to emphasize diversity in politics and to work hard to get the electorate out to vote and be informed about what's going on in politics. Did I do a good job on that?
Yes, you
Very
did.
good.
Right, and I love both of them. Yoseph, the president of the Democratic Club of Lee County, what is your mission?
Well, our mission is to represent Democrats in a variety of ways. A couple of things we do is one is we make sure that we're looking for candidates. We make sure that we do vote by mail. We encourage people to vote by mail. We call them to encourage them to vote. And we also have a variety of clubs. We have the Sanibel Club, Shell Point, Black Caucus, and the Progressive Club, the Women's Club, Bonita Springs, and Lehigh. So a variety of clubs, and we encourage people to talk about issues where customers have, our people have. But most importantly is our job is to get Democrats voted in this office, in this area.
I'm thinking that you're unique in the sense of that you're black. I think your lineage chases you back to Africa, right?
Yes, I'm first generation. I'm from Ethiopia.
Okay, but in the short answer, you're black, and you're the president of the Lee County Democratic, the Democratic Club of Lee County. From all my years of doing this, I would assume that you're the first person, black or of color, to be the president.
Yes, that's true.
That's progress.
That is
Okay,
very true.
just want to get all of that out. And you're very well qualified. Now, you deal with the process that you just described. You deal with that on a local level, state level, and a national level. So you have a direct line to the President of the United States?
No, but we have what's called right now a coordinated campaign.
Okay.
So we work sometimes with the Hillary people and also with the Florida Democratic Party. So we're all coordinating efforts in order to make sure that Hillary gets elected, and also down ballot all other candidates that are Democrats to get elected.
Okay, purely focused on those Democrats. Now, I'm gonna come back to you, the fact that we have a lot of minorities who run as Republicans here and how that is a challenge. Let's go to you, my good friend and godmom, Gerri Ware, the president of the Lee County Democratic Black Caucus Club. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that particular club got organized about 2-3 years ago, right, Gerri?
2 years.
What was the importance of that specific club that drills down to blacks?
We are an off branch of the state Democratic Black Caucus, not to be confused with the legislative Black Caucus, not to be confused with that, but there's a state Democratic Black Caucus. And as Joseph has just emphasized, our emphasis is on promoting Democrats. And the Black Caucus pleads for those who don't plead for themselves, for the inequities that exist in our communities, for issues that come up that when people won't speak out for themselves, we speak for them or try to speak for them and communicate with them and encourage them. Because that is one thing. I come from the 60s, and the political arena was very much different than what it is today. We fought more, and so Black Caucus now is caught in the fight to get our people to get more involved, to really realize we are still in the struggle. But we've got to fight. We can't just give up. You've got to maintain your hope.
When you are involved with an organization that's a Democratic caucus, and it's a Black Democratic caucus, is located here in Southwest Florida, and particularly in Lee County, that's a Republican stronghold. Seems like the Republicans, just the big giant on the hill. What types of challenges does that pose?
Well, let me go back to one thing, Lee. It says Democratic Black Caucus, but you don't have to be black.
Okay.
But you have to be a Democrat.
Okay.
Okay, because we have members from Sanibel, Bonita, from all areas of Lee County. So
Okay.
it's not ethnic oriented. So we're trying to get everybody to work together.
Okay, go to the Lee County is a Republican stronghold. A lot,
All right, let's address that. All right, years and years ago, before people began to migrate to Florida, Florida was Democrat. And as the influx of people migrating to Florida from the north, it brought in an influx of Republicans. And that has changed our struggle here of getting people elected, because you alluded to the fact that we've had people to run for school board recently. I ran for school board back in the 80s. Well, they're trying to go down with single member districts, trying to make it possible for a black to get elected.
Or minorities?
Yes, a minority to get elected.
Still, a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
Now, I said all that now. One of the things, though, even though I painted that sort of picture of the Republican stronghold, it doesn't take an African-American scientist to see that the Democratic Party here in Lee County is on the move. Speak to that, Yoseph. It's on the move, because I remember years ago, we didn't have this kind of energy that I see now.
Well, part of it is the demographics has changed some. Okay. Now what we have is we have a lot more people saying they're independent. So which means we have an opportunity to present to them, hey, this is what we're all about, and kind of switch out. Maybe we can peel some off. Hillary's helping us some. Trump is going to help us some, but I think we're coordinated more. We're trying to do a better job. And again, one of the biggest things we're working on is vote by mail, because I think a lot of our Democrats are usually hourly workers. So sometimes when there's a 5-6 hour wait online, it's very difficult to go vote and not get paycheck and just take the time to vote. But if you do that vote by mail, that equalizes it.
Vote by mail is pretty much the future, is what the future is here. This is where the majority of people are voting. Because I think I heard you say something like 80%. Is that here in Lee County?
Well, in generally, okay, most presidential elections, for instance, Democrats, 60% of Democrats tend to go out to vote in presidential elections. But 80% of vote by mail who ask for vote by mail do so. Now, where it gets us in trouble is more a non-presidential election. Democrats tend to vote only 40%. Come out to vote. That's where a lot of times a lot of Republicans tend to do well, is an off-year election. So, but by vote by mail, that is the great equalizer. So that is the biggest push that we're having right now.
Okay, and we're leading up to a general election that's coming now. In the primaries, we had numerous minorities. I know you guys are not just about minorities, you're about the Democratic Party, but we had numerous minorities who ran for office and did not get elected in a nonpartisan open election. What's the proper terminology for that? Where everybody can vote regardless of where you're
Nonpartisan office.
Right.
Yeah.
would we ever be able to see a change there? Will we ever be able to see a minority who can get that at-large vote where people, they may be running in a district that's primarily minority, but they still have to rely on votes from people in Sanibel and Cape Coral, Marco Island, something like that. Not Marco Island, but that's for Collier County. Go ahead.
I'm one who wants to be positive at all times. If Barack can make it nationally, I believe that eventually, locally, we will get there with a lot of effort. Going back to what Joseph has said, that's one thing that Black Caucus has been very active in trying to promote, the increase in getting people registered and voting in precincts 7, 8, and 32, which are predominantly minorities. And so we've been successful in about getting ready next week to open an office on Martin Luther King to promote the vote, where we do registrations, we assist individuals with changing their address, we encourage people to do the mail by vote, we call to see if they received their ballot, we call to see if they returned their ballot, because it's nothing like getting the ballot and not returning. It's just like not voting at all.
Right.
But one other thing, by me working with the electors, I have found that oftentimes we as minorities have this fear that our vote won't count if we do it by mail. The trust factor is not there. But I push it because they're the elderly and those who cannot get there to the polls and not have to stand in the lines. I encourage it because I do it myself. I get my ballot like on August 2nd. It was back in the mail on August the 4th.
How can people get involved with what you are doing? They're listening to you on television right now.
If they were to call me, and my number is always open, 872-7422, and we will be at 1960 Velasco on Martin Luther King. That's in the Bryson's bail bond little complex there. We'll be in that office trying to work from Saturday to Sundays, and we're asking for volunteers to come, people to come to register to vote, come and help us canvass the community to encourage people and then educate them. That's one thing we got to do, is more educating people, because oftentimes they don't understand the amendments and they're not familiar with the people that's running for office.
Platform. Back over to you, Yoseph. I like saying that name, Yoseph. Seems like I know something. I don't know. You hear this all the time. The Democrats take the minority vote for granted. True or false?
False. But let me answer, and also one more question, add to what you said. Here's the important thing about vote by mail track. One of the things you can do is you can track it yourself. If you go to supervisor elections, if you put your vote in, you can track to make sure it got counted. That's important. The other part also is our candidates. As the country's browning more, we're going to get more candidates coming here. But we've never taken anybody for granted here. We work hard to get your vote. We work very hard to make sure that your voice is heard. And I think people realize the Democratic Party is for the people, for every working person. That is why they're mostly associated with us. If the Republicans did a better job, mostly they would be going there. But we tend to work for you in all the efforts, and that's why people are with us.
I see. Well, it's been a pleasure having you both on the show. We have a limited amount of time. We got a whole lot of politics going on here today, this Sunday morning. Keep up the good work. You're great American citizens.
Thank you
very much. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Stay right there. As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Gerri and Yoseph who are doing it. When we come back, we'll talk to James Didio, candidate for Lee County Sheriff's Office. We'll be right back. He's going up against the big machine, Mike Scott.